Thank you, Violetta. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this evening, Mary Teo Medina. Mary Teo Medina is a 2011 graduate of Barbara Ingram School for the Arts, where she studied dance. She then attended Hagerstown Community College and received her associate's degree in business administration and transferred to Liberty University, where she graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in government and politics. She currently serves as the marketing director for Chick-fil-A in Hagerstown and teaches dance part-time with ballet and all that jazz in Hagerstown. Mary Teo recently married her high school sweetheart, Juan Medina, who also graduated from Barbara Ingram School for the Arts in 2011. And this also opens our chapter up. Mary is our first alumni to speak, so we are so pleased and so happy that she's here. So please give Mary a big round of applause.
I just want to take an opportunity to thank the Foundation for Barbara Ingram, as well as the staff and Dr. Habermehl for having me. I consider this a very high honor, and I'm very grateful to be here. And you'll have to forgive me. I was a dance major, not a theater major, so I don't have my speech memorized. Anyways, even though I don't know you personally, I feel like I do because there's a special bond that Barbara Ingram students have. It could be because we share the same challenging, exhausting hike up the infamous stairs. So you're right, it is not Barbara Ingram's speech unless you mention the stairs. Or if it's because we both know the challenges of trying to sneak up the elevator so you don't have to take the stairs. In fact, I was at Barbara Ingram today to pick up the graduation tickets for this evening, and I said, hey, Mama Webb, I said, can I take the elevator? She's like, yeah, you're graduated, of course you can. So it scarred me for life. Maybe it's the tendency of dance students to chew your food to the beat of music. I don't know if that's just me, but maybe it could be that. But I think the true bond that we have is a mutual appreciation and respect for the arts and a desire to use our gifts and talents to better the communities around us, wherever our lives lead us. Barbara Ingram students are more than just high school students. We are dedicated. You're sitting in these seats today because you took a leap of faith to leave your home high school and friends and audition for one of only 2 arts high schools in the state of Maryland. You made it into this school because of your unique ability to communicate with people through your art form. And you made it through 4 years of rigorous curriculum and training because you understand the value of the arts. You get it. This sets you apart. Just let that sink in for a minute. You are unique. So when Dr. Habermehl asked me to share some lessons or skills that I learned while attending Barbara Ingram that have helped me throughout my college years and into my professional career, I honestly didn't know where to begin. I was reflecting, and I learned so much at Barbara Ingram, and to encapsulate it into just one presentation seemed impossible, but I honed in on a few critical lessons that have helped me throughout the past 6+ years of my life, and I realized that it sounded a lot like a common phrase I heard recently at a leadership conference that I attended with my boss, and it's from the book, The 3 H's of Leadership. So it's really stuck with me, and if you haven't heard it, maybe it'll stick with you too. Be humble, stay hungry, and always hustle. So lesson 1, be humble. Ask yourself, who am I? What do you want your legacy to be? I'll admit, it's hard to stay humble at a school like Barbara Ingram. I mean, think about it. You auditioned to sit in the seat you're sitting in right now. You're truly the cream of the crop. Many of you have a handful of accolades already, with volunteering, musical awards, community awards. Maybe you were the lead in the school musical, or got that one vocal solo that everyone wanted. I think that in our society, it's easy to confuse confidence with arrogance. You can actually be confident without boasting. In a world that's begging for authenticity, be the real, unapologetic you. Unapologetically you. Successful leaders can recognize their strengths and talents, but won't make others feel inferior in doing so. There's a Maya Angelou quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but it says that people might not remember what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. And isn't that so true? How will you be remembered? Will you be remembered as the girl or guy who always got the star role but accepted it with grace? Will you be remembered as the person who stopped what they were doing and asked a peer how they were feeling that day? Maybe you sacrificed your own practice time to go help a friend who was struggling to remember those lines or couldn't quite nail that sketching technique. Ask yourself, who am I? You don't have to have this figured out today, don't worry. or even when you graduate college if you plan to attend college. But I challenge you to think about what kind of legacy you're leaving, and whether you realize it or not, you are not only representing Barbara Ingram, but you're representing yourself, your brand. So lesson 2, stay hungry, not physically hungry. Ask yourself, where am I going? Some of you plan to attend a university hours from Washington County. Others may start on the HCC before transferring. And some of you plan to dive headfirst into the workforce to start building your resume. I'd like to pose this question to you. What's that next step? What's your next move? Don't get me wrong, I think there are important lessons to enjoy while you're in this season. But what about the next season? What decisions are you making right now that will position you for greatness in the future? Think about your God-given gifts and talents. Where can they be best used? Maybe you attended Barbara Ingram initially because you wanted to become a Radio City Rockette. But after attending Barbara Ingram, you decided that maybe teaching's your passion and not so much being in the spotlight. Regardless of your situation, I challenge you to always keep that next season in the back of your mind. One of the great things about BISFA is that it truly prepares you for life. Stay hungry for the next step and make wise decisions now that will position you for success in the future. Lesson 3, always hustle. How will you get there? Whether you realize it or not, you've already been hustling. Attending Barbara Ingram forces you to develop time management skills and become a professional multitasker. Between dress rehearsals, projects for your academic classes, completing volunteer hours required for graduation, deciding where you will attend college, applying for scholarships for that college, and trying to maintain a social life, it gets a little crazy. This type of lifestyle develops hustlers. If I'm being honest, when I attended Barbara Ingram, it was a little easy to kind of relax and just coast. I mean, at that time, the school was competitive, don't get me wrong, and we had incredibly talented students. But I don't think I saw the same drive in my class necessarily that I've seen in so many of you as I've attended your performances and musicals. And it wasn't until I began auditioning outside of my little bubble of Washington County that I realized, you know what? I'm not the best dancer in the world. Go figure. But that's okay, because Barbara Ingram wasn't created to crank out the world's best vocalists or actors. Sure, this school is teeming with talent, and I can honestly say that some of you just might become famous or critically acclaimed. But I firmly believe that Barbara Ingram's mission and vision are way deeper than just making people famous. The mission of this school, as I'm sure most of you know, is to provide every student with a rigorous, comprehensive college preparatory curriculum rooted in intense pre-professional training in the arts that encourages excellence and success in their personal development as students, artists, and cultural leaders. Notice that there's no promise that students that graduate from Barbara Ingram will major in their preferred art form or even become famous. It's about more than that. Barbara Ingram helps shape you and groom you into a more well-rounded, more informed citizen than you were upon arrival. This school helps you learn how to positively impact others using your artistic abilities. Something that I learned from my peers at Barbara Ingram is that if you want something bad enough, you not only have to work for it, but you also have to stay one step ahead of the crowd. Coasting isn't an option, and cruise control is a no-no. Attack each day with a positive outlook and a winning attitude. Don't wait for opportunities to fall into your lap because chances are they won't. Create your own opportunities. Great leaders not only strive for excellence, but they're humble enough to recognize that they may not be the best at their trade, and they're always working to become better. They're also not afraid to ask others for help, or learn from fellow artists, or just ask questions. So many people are quick to step on others to get to the top of the ladder, be it the corporate ladder or elsewhere. But have you ever heard the phrase, "It's lonely at the top"? Don't forget to lift others up with you. After all, what good is being the best if you haven't made a positive impact on someone along the way? And this last little nugget of truth is very important. Don't forget your roots. Look around this room. These are the people that have molded you to be the person you are at this very moment. Look around this town. This county has supported your passions and rallied around the cause of Barbara Ingram for years. There were a handful of people, 10 years or so, that had a vision for this school. They laid the groundwork so that you can enjoy the last 4 years and receive a world-class education. Regardless of your future plans, never forget where you came from and appreciate your heritage. You may leave this town and never return, but be proud to call Washington County home of your high school because there's only one place like it. So your spring musical may be over, your dance recitals may be complete, and your artwork may be hung in the lobby for years to come, but guess what? It's curtain call, and a new show is about to begin. So as you leave this season and enter into the next, know that your Barbara Ingram family will always be rooting for you. And from one alumni to another, congratulations and good luck.